guys, welcome back to the video, and today we are reacting to film series The Disney Princess Problem, Wreck-It Ralph 2 in brackets by the film series. So I really don't know what to expect. So in 3, 2, 1, let's react. Disney Princess Audition.
Ooh, I'm so nervous. Oh boy, thank you. We'll be in touch. Next. Oh boy, looks like it's my turn. Wish me luck, ladies.
What the heck? What the heck, Matt Pat?
My name is Matthew Patrick, and next. Excuse me, but I said next. I'm the mouse. You listen to what I say, Theory Boy, and you listen good. You'll never be a Disney princess based on our qualifications. But what are those qualifications? It's Walt's little secret. You don't think our old racist movies are the only thing we keep locked up in the Disney vault, do ya? Fine, you just wait, mouse. It's time I air your dirty little secrets.
Mouse. Film series presents How to Become a Disney Princess.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory!
Theory!
Making enemies with globally beloved mascots since 2015. Today I look at one of the most twisted and cutthroat cinematic universes ever conceived, the Disney Princesses. All to answer one burning question that we all never thought to ask: what allows you to qualify as a Disney princess? Now, that may sound like it's a stupid question. You're a princess who happens to be in a Disney movie, duh. But the answer actually is nowhere near that simple. You see, despite me going to Disneyland hundreds of times and constantly being the old creepy dude who waves enthusiastically to all the princesses as they parade past, what actually got me started down this little vision quest of mine was the trailer for Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which included this scene where Princess Vanellope von Schweetz goes to the Oh My Disney website and enters the Disney Princess Room.
What kind of a princess are you?
Do you have magic hair? Magic hands? No. Do animals talk to you? Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big strong man showed up?
Yes!
She is a princess!
Cue the internet collectively high-fiving each other for that sick burn on male prince types. Got 'em!
Well,
you got him until you forget that princes have literally risked their lives to save multiple women in this room. Jasmine? Ariel? Yeah, Aurora, you did a really good job fighting back Maleficent when she created that moat of thorns around the castle and then turned into a giant dragon and started breathing green fire everywhere. Oh, wait, no. You were asleep during that whole thing. It was Prince Philip who did all that. Just saying, gals, it's one thing to be an empowered female. It's another thing to be an ungrateful jerk towards the guy who saved your life. Now, this scene is legitimately awesome. Any crossover of this caliber is always going to be exciting. It is a literal who's who of Disney female characters from over the decades, but one thing it is not is an accurate portrayal of Disney princesses. You see, the Disney Princesses is a separate media franchise created in the early 2000s. It's like the NSYNC of Disney animated female characters. And believe it or not, it includes only a very select portion of the princess characters. From the animation studio's nearly 100-year history, only 11 characters are technically included as a Disney princess. Pause the video right now and try to guess who those characters are going to be. I'll give you a second or two to pause the video. Alright, placed your bets? Good. Some are pretty obvious. Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, aka Sleeping Beauty, Ariel from Little Mermaid, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and Jasmine from Aladdin. If this were a game of Scrabble, they'd be worth 1 point. They're like the T's and E's of the Disney princess world. Worth 3 points would be Mulan, Tiana from Princess and the Frog, and Rapunzel from Tangled. Those are the M and P tiles. And the 10-pointer Z's of our little game would be Pocahontas and Merida, the first Pixar princess coming from the movie Brave. Double word score! Now, you may have noticed some pretty big snubs from that list, like, say, Anna and Elsa from Frozen, literal princesses from Arendelle in what is the highest-grossing animated film of all time. No invite to this exclusive club for either of them. How about Moana? Also not on the list. And it's not like they're too new either. Most of the modern characters were coronated as an official Disney princess about a year after the release of their movie. Rapunzel, Tiana, Merida, all of them had about an 11 to 12-month gap before they were officially christened a Disney princess. And remember, this list is according to the official list located located at princess.disney.com, an official site of Disney.com.
Official list.
This is the real deal here. So,
The real
what's
deal.
going on exactly? What in Disney's eyes makes a woman worthy of being a princess? And would Vanellope von Schweetz actually pass the test and merit inclusion in this
Would
room
she
from
actually
Wreck-It Ralph
pass
2?
the
That,
test?
ladies and gentlemen, is my goal today, to turn these empowered women into lists of their core attributes so we can directly compare their worth and find out what methodology Disney is working with to determine their merit. So if we have any hope of figuring out the criteria for becoming a Disney princess, we're gonna have to reverse engineer things by seeing who's
Reverse
included,
engineer
who's
things.
excluded, and then figuring out what attributes unite those two groups. Now, as I just mentioned, the exclusion of Anna and Elsa from this group shows that not all princesses in Disney movies go on to become Disney princesses trademarked. But that leads to the question, are all Disney princesses trademarked actual princesses in Disney movies? In other words, are they either the daughter of a king or queen, or are they married to a prince? Well, of the 11, 9 of them are easy. Yes. But 2, Pocahontas and Mulan, require a bit more digging. For Pocahontas, her father... I hate these moments when I copy-paste a hard name into a script and then come across it later in the recording closet, suddenly remembering that I have to pronounce the darn thing. Her father, Wahun Senakawa, was a powerful chief of the Senakamaka, was a powerful chief of the Senakamaka Confederacy. So she's the daughter to a high-ranking ruler for lack of a better term, which would seem to qualify her as a princess. However, there's a wrinkle here. Pocahontas' tribe didn't have patrilineal inheritance, which means that Wahoo Senakawa's sister's children would be the ones next in line to inherit any actual power, not Pocahontas. That said, even though she falls into this weird middle ground of princessdom, history seems to weigh in her favor. In 1808, James Nelson Barker wrote The Indian Princess, or La Belle Sauvage, one of the first dramatizations of Pocahontas' life. Even earlier than that, St. George's Churchyard, where Pocahontas was buried, posted the notice of the burial of Princess Pocahontas. And later, the churchyard was laid out as the Princess Pocahontas Garden in 1958. So even though it does fall into a bit of a middle ground, consensus does seem to say that Pocahontas can qualify as a princess. As for Mulan, well, not so much. If you're judging her by her main movie alone, she technically doesn't qualify at all. Remember, Mulan is a commoner who enlists in the Chinese military to protect her father. Sure, she saves all of China from the Huns and falls in love with Captain Shang, but nothing about that qualifies you for the technical definition of a princess. It's not until the direct-to-DVD sequel Mulan 2 where, if you squint really hard at it, she becomes a princess for like maybe 5 minutes. You see, Mulan is hired to escort 3 of the Emperor's daughters to be married off to 3 princes. Historically speaking, these guys would be better classified as warlords, but it's Disney, so they're princes, and the marriages will help ensure peace in China. When her love Shang falls off a cliff into a giant empty abyss, no joke, this is something that really happens, Mulan assumes what any reasonable person would assume seeing a fall like that he dead, son. So she agrees to marry one of the princes for the good of all China. So she's almost a princess until Shang is revealed to have lived. He hears of the marriage and rushes in at the last minute to stop it, thereby ending Mulan's entire claim to princesshood before it even begins. So Mulan? No, not a princess. Almost, but not quite. So Mulan really proves the lesson here that being an actual princess doesn't matter for qualification into this elite group. And if you want a real nail in this coffin, Mulan was included in the roster of Disney princesses back when the group was first created in 2000. Mulan 2 came out in 2004. So there is absolutely zero way that Mulan would have qualified any angle that you slice it from. So being the dictionary definition of a princess does not matter apparently. Then what does? What connects those 11 characters but still leaves out Moana, Anna, Elsa, not to mention other classic Disney females like Meg from Hercules, Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and even Princess Eilonwy from 1985's The Black Cauldron, a literal princess who is based in Welsh fairy tales and was saving the male protagonist of her story 3 decades before any of the strong women of modern Disney rolled into town. I mean, my mind immediately turned to box office performance since those last 3 movies underperformed at the theaters, but clearly that doesn't apply to Moana and Frozen. Heroic acts? Clearly not, since Moana has more heroism in her little toe than Aurora, who spends 90% of her movie asleep. In fact, it's Merida from Brave who throws a monkey wrench in...
What the heck? Okay, so... did that. I said it only went to full screen.
not, since Moana has more heroism,
What?
fairy tales, and was saving the male protagonist of her story 3 decades before any of the strong women of modern Disney rolled into town. I mean, my mind immediately turned to box office performance
The
since those
box
last 3
office.
movies underperformed at the theater.
Underperformed. 643 million, 352 million, 252 million, 21 million. Really, 21 million.
But clearly that doesn't apply to Moana and Frozen. Heroic
Yeah.
acts? Clearly not, since Moana has more heroism in her little toe than Aurora, who spends 90% of her movie asleep. In
Yeah.
fact, it's Merida from Brave who throws a monkey wrench into a lot of the qualifications you might expect to work here. I mean, that is the entire premise of her movie. Her queen mother attempts to convince Merida to be a perfect princess, and Merida fights back.
Perfect
I'm
princess.
the princess. I'm the example. My whole life is planned out. But every once in a while, there's a day when I don't have to be a princess.
First of all, like I mentioned earlier, Merida was the first Pixar princess. So being part
First
of
Pixar
Disney
princess.
Animation Studios to be a Disney princess is no longer a qualifier here, which just shows you how ridiculous these qualifications must be. Secondly, she was the first official Disney princess to
First
not have
official
any sort of
Disney
romantic
princess.
attachment. Every other one of those 11 characters have themselves a beau, sometimes hunky, sometimes chunky. But there was always
Okay.
a man present. Merida?
Yeah.
Nope. But the
Nope.
last difference here is probably the biggest one. Merida doesn't sing. I mean, sure, there's a song about her in the opening of the movie, but Merida herself doesn't sing a single note in her entire film, while every other Disney
Yeah.
princess up to that point had. So what is it? What is this magic ingredient that I'm missing?
What's
And
this
how does
magic
Moana miss the mark? I mean, I can
ingredient?
maybe understand Anna and Elsa. Elsa, by the end of her movie, becomes a queen, and Anna is in her shadow the whole movie. And let's face it, 2 pale-faced princesses from the icy north aren't the most diverse additions to your princess roster. But Moana literally checks off all the boxes. She's the heir apparent to her father's chiefdom, maybe not a princess in name, but certainly a princess in function. She sings and gets her own main theme song.
Yeah.
She performs heroic acts. She's
Yeah.
selected as special by fate. She represents
Yeah.
a culture and ethnicity not present in the existing 11 character roster. Her movie
Yeah.
made a butt ton of money, and it came out more than a year ago, meaning that her coronation is long past due at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, even her movie spells it out for her.
It's called wayfinding, princess.
Okay, first, I'm not a princess. I'm the daughter of the chief.
Same difference.
No.
If you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess.
Wait a minute, is that really it? I mean, sure, it's a joke, but it's being told directly to a character who has obviously not met this invisible bar to being a Disney princess, which I gotta admit makes the subtext for this scene really weird. But even though this meta joke is played for laughs, Maui here might not be joking. When Andy Mooney, creator of the Disney Princess Initiative, was interviewed by the New York Times about how he came up with the idea of grouping together the princesses, he had this to say, quote, "Standing in line in the arena of a Disney on Ice show, I was surrounded by little girls dressed head to toe as princesses. They weren't even Disney products. They were generic princess products they'd appended to a Halloween costume, and the light bulb went off. Clearly, there was a latent demand here. So the next morning, I said to my team, okay, let's establish standards and a color palette and talk to licensees and get as much product out there as we possibly can that allows these girls to do what they're doing anyway, projecting themselves into the character."
Wait, and talk to licensees. Oh, I thought that was supposed to be licenses.
From these classic movies, end quote. Translation, let's monetize the heck out of the hopes and dreams of these young,
monetize.
impressionable girls. But what if the
Monetize.
only 2 qualifications are 1, dress, and 2,
Dress.
animal? Let's look at our list of
Animal.
candidates again. Pocahontas, dress, and Miko the raccoon and Flip Hummingbird. Ariel, dress,
Okay.
and Flounder the fish. Jasmine, dress, and Raja the tiger. Mulan, dress, and Mushu the dragon. Rapunzel, dress, and Pascal the chameleon. Tiana, dress, and Louis the crocodile. Belle, dress, and Philippe the horse, or I guess you could consider the beast himself. Cinderella, dress, and her
Yeah.
mice Jacques and Gus. Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, dresses, and general woodland creatures. Merida, dress, and Angus the horse. And now let's look at that excluded list. Meg from Hercules, no animal. Princess Iolani from Black Cauldron, no animal. Esmeralda from
Okay.
Hunchback, okay, she's got herself a dress.
What?
The horse. And now let's look at that
There was some
excluded
text
list.
there.
Meg from Hercules, no animal. Princess Iolani from Black Cauldron, no animal.
Actually, MacGuffin. What?
children, no animal.
Actually, a MacGuffin. What the heck?
Esmeralda from Hunchback? Okay, she's got herself a dress and a goat, but she's also an outlaw who's treated as an object of sexual desire by the men in the movie, so she's got a couple other things working against her in this qualification. Anna and Elsa? Sure, they have Olaf, but he's technically not an animal. And honestly, they do make the cut when it comes to a separate list of Disneyland theme park princesses, in which they're the only new additions. Quite frankly, animal plus dress is the only set of qualifications that clearly delineates the princesses from the not princesses. But that still leaves out Moana. What about her? She clearly has Hey Hey the Rooster, so what's holding her back? It's the dress. Despite what Maui might call her outfit, first off, it's technically not a dress by dictionary definition, which is a one-piece garment for a woman or girl that covers the body and extends down to the legs. However, Jasmine from Aladdin also doesn't wear a traditional dress for most of her movie, so that's not the main problem going on here. What is the issue is what Moana's dress represents. Consider this. According to an interview with the site Tyranny of Style, Nessa Beauvais, visual development artist and key costume designer for Moana, emphasizes the goal of staying true to Pacific Islander culture. Quote, the biggest challenge on the film was the limited materials. We only had two, Tapa and Pandanus. Tapa is made from the mulberry tree bark. They pull out the bark and go through a strenuous process of making a paste and eventually tap it all together, hence Tapa. Similar story with the Pandanus weaving. Pandanus is actually a tree, and they pull the Pandanus leaves and shred them in strips. These dry, and later you take each piece and weave it together. You can even braid it. We had a specific rule. If you can find it in the island, you can make it. End quote. Staying true to the materials, history, and culture of the Pacific Islands was essential for this movie and its characters. Now look at the 11 existing princesses, each and every one wearing pretty generic attire that alludes to their culture of origin vaguely, at best. Times are different now, and Disney is under more scrutiny than ever about its appropriation of other cultures for money. It's an issue that hung over the head of Moana from before the movie's release and continues to do so today, with specific focus on the costumes. And if the goal of all the Disney princesses is to have young girls wear your dress and look like the character, Moana's outfit, while terrifically designed and culturally sensitive from a movie standpoint, becomes really problematic when you start churning out cheap copies to sell next to your mall's sunglass hut. So what makes a princess? Well, according to Disney, it's not who you are, what you do, or even who you choose to marry. It's what you wear that counts. And isn't that the best message to send to little girls? Next time in our exploration of Disney princesses, we focus on that specific scene from Wreck-It Ralph 2, because the roster is much wider in that room, all in an effort to determine whether Vanellope might truly become Disney's next princess, despite what all the other girls might tell her. Speaking of what you wear, Fierest merch is now available for a super limited amount of...
So yeah, guys, that was Film Theory, the Disney Princess Problem Wreck-It Ralph 2 in brackets. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and of course, peace to all the people that have peace. Peace.